Okay, cool. Let's start this here. Okay, so annoyingly, right, I didn't take a long here off this MPOC on, what was it, Monday? I just wasn't active to see this move down here, but that was, I should have set limits for that. That was very clean. Let me turn on my volume profile. Yeah, so we had the right idea here, but obviously no one actually got filled on this, right? Except me. This idea here, I think, could play out if we get like a daily candle close somewhere around here, and we end up front running that June, like mid June high. I'll actually look for shorts. Sorry, I'll look for a long around here of this MPOC here. If we're gonna have basically one of those front runs where we, let me see, and then like come back later for it essentially. So let me put a question mark. Something like that, and then I'll look to target that single print if we get the fill. Yeah, overall, like June's been pretty ever since the start, right? Like start of the month, sorry, July, sorry. Ever since the start of July, it's been pretty bullish, right? I had a bullish bias down here at the lows. Like I was not one of those guys calling for lower, so I'm glad about that. But you know, bias is one thing, execution is another. So we could have definitely improved execution, definitely a bit better. But let's just say let's say that we only caught at least one or two longs this month. That's completely fine. We're still outperforming a few traders. The main point I want to cover here is that I think since we're like aggressively been running towards these highs, like I'd say you got to be more cautious here. But it's rewarded to long on pullbacks, right? So I'm basically gonna long until we get like a 4 hour straight structure break or something like that, right? So ideally this isn't the time that it does that, right? So this long would work out. I would probably honestly do like a safer stop like this, 63.7. So yeah, technically we are back in premium, but we've yet to run these highs, so we don't have to, right? But like I think we will. And there are POIs higher to short. So like for example, 71k. I don't know if we go that high, but if we do, then we could potentially look for longs up there towards the target there. But if we do get this long entry and we swipe this high, I'll probably look for head shorts. If we do start showing signs of distribution, trapped buyers up here, or SFP, something like that. So a setup like that, right, where we have like a clear invalidation. But we do have quite a few POIs as well. I think this single print could get smashed if we like just break through this high. The question is like, does it happen now, like in one candle? I don't know. That would be pretty annoying because I'm not taking any scalp longs like recently, right? But the scalp long entry, I guess, was Monday, right, off MPOC. But anyways, so yeah, like that's basically my local plans on Bitcoin. Maybe, yeah, I think maybe we get this. It's not guaranteed, right? But hold on, that's really horribly drawn. Something like that. I will look to find an entry, or if we, come back down here, and then maybe I would try a scalp there as well. But for now, we'll just, because this looks to be a sort of front run here. Yeah, so 64.7, and then these are my like local ideas. We'll see what happens, honestly. But yeah. And then that's Bitcoin, right? The main one. Ethereum. Let's see, Ethereum. Ethereum, I believe, yeah, it's back in that VAL. Um, I'll cover this basically. So if we do get that pullback with Bitcoin, ETH is probably one that I would be looking for longs on as well. POIs, I'd say if I turn this on, set the TPO to ETH. Let me have a look, see. So I think, honestly, if we get like, yeah, I think if we get this MPOC here, I would probably try along there. Stops below that wick. This was a pretty clean MPOC retest, not gonna lie. That was almost fucking bang on. But yeah, if we do get that, I'll try along on ETH as well. I don't know if we go that low, but if we do, that's what I'd be looking for, personally. But of course, you know, it doesn't have to play out. Also, we do have like daily 200 EMA up here. If I turn this on real quick. Wrong one. So, yeah, I think there's a chance that we could like come up to here. I would probably do like quite wide. Actually, I probably wouldn't swing short, but I'd scalp this area. It's an area I plan to scalp 100%. So like tight stops, I think it would align with his MPOC daily 200 EMA. You know, I think it'd be a nice area to potentially, even like a high R trade here could work, right? If we put stops below Monday low, come back down, we would probably take a TP off somewhere around these highs here. Also, these free MPOCs I think could get smashed as well, depending on what Bitcoin does. But you know, there's always that period where like ETH outperforms Bitcoin slightly, so definitely could aim for like a high R trade here on Ethereum. Those are my thoughts on ETH. Solana, I think so. How's it doing? Oh, my long idea got front ran here. Well, yeah, that's annoying. So you see, it came back down. So I drew this range as like a, if I turn off the TPO real quick, I drew this like range idea and it clearly bounced off that POC. I remember last stream, I think it was, yeah, Friday, I was saying you could long here, but it's risky. I would have preferred a little bit lower, but we didn't get that right. So now it's just more about like, you know, if we keep trending upwards, where would we long from? Probably, I'd say, let me see. I would honestly go with, let me see if there's any clean demand zone here. Yeah, I would say this area here, this MPOC. So I would place stops right below there. Target would be like this month's high currently. I would say that would be a really nice trade. There's also an MPOC here, which I think it looks like it's trending towards, right? So definitely POI is higher, that it could act as magnets, right? So 76.4 entry, stop loss below that. There's like demand zone here. Yeah, because I think, hold on, I didn't draw this right. There we go. Demand zone here. So entry on this MPOC, but then just in case it goes for this, then I would probably DCA here, right? So one of these two could work potentially, in my opinion. You could try a really tight play here, but it's also pretty risky. Let me just mark out this monthly high. Yeah, I think that would be clean. We'll see. locally it looks clean. It is. Don't get me wrong though. It is lagging behind Bitcoin. Um, but actually, I should probably even try a head short here, if I'm honest. Something like that. Yeah. So that's Sol. Also cover UZT. It honestly is. We're very close to pretty much breaking down. But that's why I said be cautious a little bit here, because we are also, just like on Bitcoin, we're about to breach mid-June high. Same thing here, right on USDT. We're about to swipe this low. We've not quite hit it yet, but we need to be very cautious here. I wouldn't be blasting longs right now, because we very could easily SFP and have a decent pullback. So this is like make or break here, in my opinion. Very. Yeah, it's very, in my opinion, it's very make or break. We broke MSB here at a retrace, so this chart is very messy. It's not meant to be clean. I draw it. I literally use this like for intraday biases, but obviously I'm not alerting too many scalps right now, just because POIs haven't been hitting as much. But I saw that breakout did add indices now, so I'm not gonna lie, I've been looking at NQ more. So NQ, I see a pretty good scalp off this TPO here, TPO MPOC, right? There's one at 29,395. I'll probably scalp that reaction on breakout, even though their bloody margin is quite low, but I think I can still get off a nice 4 area. Maybe, I will see. It might not be the right area, but for example, this was very close. I would even consider front running MPOX in the future, because this is like ridiculously. Imagine having caught this, right? This could have been like a 10-hour trade right there, within a matter of days, right? But yeah, that was a TPOC from a couple of days. Like I started noticing like it's ridiculously clean how some of these MPOCs are with indices. But yeah, I'll pop this in the chat. That's what I'm looking at locally. Hold on, maybe even something like this. Right, like I would probably leave a runner for that low. So yeah, let me make this clear. That's honestly why I would run on NQ. So, and of course, right, like ES is also pretty clean. But on ES, I would, hold on. On ES, let me see. Yeah, I posted this idea on X. So swing long idea would be if NQ front runs as POI. I think this could be a nice swing long for NQ, just because it does look like, if I turn on this, looks like very clear, like potentially higher low here, high structure. So if we were to put in another low, I think it'd be from somewhere around in this region. I think this wick low stays protected. I think that was news low, wick low. But there's an MPOC right up there where I would try long, right? So I'd probably target that MPOC there if this comes, right? Something like that. So yeah, I think probably we'll start scalping ES a little bit more, 100%. So yeah, we covered pretty much Bitcoin, Sol, ETH, and QES, right? Like intraday biases, right? I am like locus, like cautiously bullish on crypto, and I am still pretty bullish on indices. I don't think they've topped out yet, even though there were a lot of people saying, you know, like every market rally, there's always people saying there's going to be a crash, right? But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. I'll cover Hyperliquid as well. If you guys want any tickers you want me to look at, let me know. Let's see. I will probably, yeah, I would say for hype, I was planning along at 60.4. Yeah, this would have gone filled. I was thinking about this long, which I'm already in. Sorry, correction, I'm not in, but I would have been in. Hold on, let me just edit this. Yeah, so it did like almost tap VAL here. I guess it sort of depends on what you would consider VAL. But there was a range low sweep here. So I think potentially hype could see some more uptrend. Also keep in mind, like, this anchored VWAP every time we've come near and, you know, retested it. It looks like it always looks like a good area to build a swing long. So I think actually probably would slightly change this target to like 85 or something. I think that's probably where I would, like a round number, right, at like 80, around 85, 84.9. I think could be a nice swing for hype. Yeah, I think this looks good in my opinion. I'll pop this in the chat as well.